Greetings to all. I am architect Devin Deshpande from Institute of Design Education and Architectural Studies, IDS Nagpur. Today we are going to introduce a new subject for the fourth semester of Diploma in Architecture and Interior Design, which is working drawing. The program code for this is 80 AAIX and IZ. A program course code is 324003. As the name suggests, working drawing. So the rationale for this subject is it aims to introduce the working drawing and their significance in the construction of buildings, furniture design, and interior design and decoration. Students will learn the essential components of working drawing, like the technical indications, annotation systems, style, and drawing standards. Students will be able to develop and convert the intent of an architectural design, interior space, or design into a set of drawings and the documents that are technically correct and complete for working, getting the things executed on site. Nextly, the industry or employers expected outcome for the program or for the course are prepare the working drawings and documents so as to explain properly the architectural, the interior space design and decoration details to execute this work through a set of agencies on site. So that is the intent or the outcome intended for this course. Nextly, what are the course level learning outcomes, COs, for this course? So there are all in 5 course outcomes planned for this course. The very first is to identify different components of working drawing, information denoting style in graphical and annotative manner. That is the first course outcome. The second one is apply the design and technical information on plans and layouts to be sent on site for execution. Okay, so the third one is to apply the design and technical information on sections and elevations to be sent on site for execution. Fourth is to use the knowledge and technical information about the building services and incorporate in the service layout drawings for execution. And finally, to explain the various working details on executing drawings. So here there is the word getting repeated many other times is execution. So whatever that information that we are putting up on a sheet of paper tells a set of people on site working to execute that work as you intended to be. So there is a part of the project that is called as a design. So you come up with a concept that how the building material is going to get executed, how it is going to get worked out in order to construct certain building elements in certain proportions with certain functions. Like some of the elements are structural in nature. So they bear the load of the structure, they bear the load of the furniture, the people inside, and so on. Apart from that, several elements are just for the sake of aesthetics. They provide scale and proportion to the structure. Also, a few structural elements are there to function environmentally, like chajjas, right? Anything like fins. They are there to protect the building from solar radiation, sometimes from harsh sunlight, sometimes from very drifty winds, and so on. So, conceptually, architects or designers plan these elements in order to make the building functional and aesthetically pleasing. But nextly, after the conceptualization, it becomes utmost important for the clients, the contractors, and the vendors to know how we are going to execute or construct these things on site. So, in order to instruct them specifically how to construct them, what should be the sequence of construction, what are the dimensions, scale, and proportions, and specific instructions, what to do, what not to do, that we have to either graphically represent those instructions, supplemented with certain annotations, certain symbols, a set of dimensions. So that will give a clarity regarding how to construct that particular element so as to perform in a very specific way and up to its mark. So as now you can see that this is a teaching, learning, and assessment scheme for the course. So here we could see that per week we have two classroom learnings, 2 hours for laboratory learning. We have 2 hours for self-learning. So total complete notional hours are 6. We have 3 credits. We don't have a paper for this, but the entire assessment is going to be internal for practical purpose and for the sessional purpose. So the total marks for this course is 125. Okay. So now just take a close look at what are the theory learning outcomes which are expected and aligned to the course outcomes. So here you could see that this is the first theory learning outcome, that is TLO, aligned to the course outcome. So the very first topic that we are going to take a look at is Unit 1, Introduction to Working Drawing. Within this topic, the very first TLO is to explain the purpose of working drawing, their importance in execution of any design, get acquainted with different stages and components of working drawing sets to be issued to the site. So here we are going to take a look at what are the various types of drawings which are important to execute the work on site. Okay. Now the second theoretical learning outcome is collect and study any actual drawings set of live sites or already built projects from any site or practicing architect. So here we are going to study a set of drawing through which we could see what are the different types of drawings, what are the different types of details which are required to instruct the contractor on site who is going to build the building. I'll just quickly show you a set of drawing, a sample set of drawing. So here you could see that this drawing as a set of drawings For example, here you could see that there is a layout of spaces represented through a plan. So this is a floor plan above which we have an elevation. Besides that, we have sections. Again, we have floor plan at different level. Again, one longitudinal section of the building. We have elevations from the back of the building. We have terrace floor level plans, and we have second floor level plans. Apart from that, there are several specific details of elements which are either designed for making the building climate responsive or for the sake of providing scale and proportion and aesthetics to the building. So this was an example of set of drawings that are required to execute the design as per your intent on site. So that was the unit 1. Unit 2 is specific regarding how to develop a plan or a layout. So here the first theoretical learning outcome must be to draw building envelope using diagonal and coordinate method. So here we are going to see how to lay the center line plans for footings, how to demarcate the site itself at the very first stage, how to develop a coordinated drawing for laying the foundation and so on. The second is to identify vertical structural members of the structure and their exact position in the drawing. That is basically the columns. The third TLO is to draw the floor plans showing important building elements and annotating the space. So the other important elements are like walls, openings, and their annotations like floor levels, directions, basic some certain dimensions, certain symbols which are having meaning in the field of construction and so on. The fourth TLO associated to this topic is locate existing structural elements on site and propose changes in case any of them are as per design approved by the client. So this also talks about the existing elements on site like trees, certain boulders, or existing water channels, existing sewage drainage and stormwater uh, chambers, electrical poles, and so on. Then the fifth TLO for this course or this particular unit is prepare interior design layout plans of the project with proper indications and annotations. So this proceeds with developing an interior layout that is basically the facilitation or the furniture layout for the plan that you have developed. So this talks about how one can efficiently use the space and have a better and a meaningful interface between the building and the activity inside. So we are going to prepare a furniture layout for this. Here you could see with the COs or basically the TLO learning outcomes which is assigned is existing floor plan and prepare changes in any of them as per design. So this also talks about how we are how we can measure the existing structure and even propose certain changes within the structure to make it more efficient. And finally, the interior furniture layout, false ceiling layout, and electrical layout that we are going to make for it. The third unit is of developing sections and elevations as we have seen in a sample layout drawing. So the very first TLO for this particular unit is to explain the purpose and significance of sectional drawings and the information given through them on site. Always remember that these are not just conceptual drawings, these are specific instructions given to contractors as to how he is supposed to undertake the construction on site with the given specifications, with the given sort of an information, do's and don'ts by the architect. So the second TLO is incorporate different information through the drawing of whole and part detailed sections of the given project. As we saw in the example, the detail of pergolas or specific design elements which are having specific design functions within them. So in this particular TLO, we will learn how to draw part details, how to scale them so that they are legible, readable within the drawing, and sorts the purpose of instructing the contractor. The third TLO is to explain the purpose and information denoted in the building elevations. So here we are going to draw all side elevations of the proposed structure along with the annotations, levels and finishes which are to be incorporated within the construction process. And the final TLO, the fourth one, is to prepare the schedule of openings and finishes. So here we are going to make the schedules for the drawing doors and windows schedule with different sizes, different levels, types of doors and openings like ventilators, windows, different doors like two-leaf door, single-leaf door, side hung, top hung, rolling shutters, collapsible gates, and so on. The kind of material by which they are going to be constructed, the kind of finish that they will hold. So that was the third unit. Moving towards the fourth unit, which is about the building services details. So the very first theoretical learning outcome out of this unit shall be this shall explain the water supply and services systems at site level and at the building level itself. So we are going to prepare water supply, drainage layout at site level and the building level. The next TLO is to prepare drawings of toilet details showing water supply and drainage system, sanitary fixture details and etc. So there we are going to provide information regarding water supply and drainage layouts of toilets and sanitary fitting details, how they are going to be laid within the wall, within the floor, sometimes within the ceiling for the building level, and outside the building level how we are going to construct the chambers, the septic tanks and the inspection chambers and so on to manage this water sewerage and even the water supply at building level and at the site level itself. The next TLO is to explain electrical and lighting system at site level and building level. So there we are going to draw the electrical and lighting layout at site level also and at the building level also, because we will require site lighting inside and outside the building as well in order to function, take out the general functions uh, within the site. Then the next theoretical learning outcome shall be to learn how to explain HVAC systems at site level and building level. So here we could be basically taking a look at the heating and ventilation system at site level and at building level. How to cool the building, how to heat the building, and how to what we can say as dehumidify the air and make the user more comfortable thermally. Okay, so there are a lot of what we can say as mechanical heating and cooling systems which are available in the market. So we are going to take the most common ones for a small residential building. If the time allows, we will also take a look at some of the commercial projects where large scale of HVAC systems are being deployed. The last TLO for this unit is to explain the firefighting systems at site level and building level to the contractor. So here we are going to develop drawings for firefighting layouts at site level and building level. The final chapter, which is the unit 5, is for building component details. So the very first TLO for this unit is to explain the standard details of various architectural components like window frames, kitchen platforms, staircase finishes, railings, and other fixtures. So there we are going to provide drawing sets of details of various architectural components like windows frames, kitchen platforms, staircase finishes, railings, and other fixtures as to how they are going to come together in order to make that element more efficient, more clean, and functional. The second TLO is to explain or explore various flooring materials such as natural stones, tile, hardwood, vinyl, and so on. So their technical specification and characteristics like durability, slip resistance, and maintenance will be discussed, and through working drawing how these are to be conveyed through infographic on drawing. The third TLO associated to this particular unit is to explain how to represent wall finishes, dado, that is the cladding onto walls, and decorative elements to enhance the textural part of the aesthetics or even the function. And the last theoretical learning outcome shall be to explain the importance of sectional elevation details and external and internal fenestration details. So there we are going to draw part sections and part elevations of the facade uh, to determine as to how these fenestrations or jalis or specific elements like fins or spouts are going to work in order to uh, uh, facilitate the building in terms of ventilation, in order to facilitate the facade to respond to a particular climatic um, aspect. Okay, so we are going to mention and give annotations, develop the annotations for various finishes to be executed on site for the facades. What are the color schemes and so on. So this is how the entire subject or the course talks about how to give instructions to the contractor so that he can undertake the work of constructing that building in the way the designer wants. So there shall be no noise as such, no extra information to confuse the contractor or to make the construction process flawless. These drawings are to be developed. Okay, so this is a list of drawings that we are going to develop. So here you could see from the third LLO, that is the laboratory learning. So this is the laboratory learning plan, as we could see, that talks about center line plans preparation for the given project, working floor plans preparation for the project. We are also going to make furniture layouts. We are going to make false ceiling layouts, electrical layouts, cross section of the building. We are going to develop the elevations, water supply details, electrical and lighting details, flooring details, toilet details, then kitchen platforms, furniture unit like wardrobes, how to make the furniture, how to make TV units, and so on, even the beds and sofa. So that takes care of the construction and the utilization of the building at all the levels. Here, even you could see that the curriculum suggests certain links. You can download this curriculum from the MSBT website and go through these references in order to make the study more richer. Thank you.